Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to come speak to you guys. And I'm very new into this market. I've left you guys behind a little bit for 17 years. I've been outside of this Africa realm, and I've moved in a first world country and experienced first world BIM, and that's what I'm bringing back to I came back. So there's a lot of ABCs behind my name that just accumulated with this gray hair. But yeah, today I'm going to talk about building a culture of digital delivery across Africa. Now, the conference name of the thesis, Harambee, is Swahili, if you didn't know. Let's all pull together. That's the biggest problem. It's not a South African or an African problem. It is. In the next 35 minutes, I want to convince you that it is a cultural problem. It's not a technology problem. And I'm not here to talk about tools, because that's what those technologies are. They are just tools to help. It is a culture and a mindset shift that needs to change. So I'll start my clock. Now, the uncomfortable truth, I'm going to start with that. Pull the plaster off fast. 70% of digital deliveries fall short of their objectives. And I'm talking out of experience. It's happened to me in the past. I'm just coming into a new market. We don't want this thing to repeat itself. And this is not me saying this. This is the big smart guys that do these audits and market researches. The big other thing, near last, construction ranks almost the least digitized major industry. That's shocking. And what's the problem to that? We're working with the biggest amounts of money in the industry. We should be doing it smarter, but the culture needs to change. It's not technology. The tools were never the constraint. We've never had such a rich drone scanners, CD platforms, dashboards. We've got AI. But what changed the delivery? How teams share that information, how decisions are made, what leaders inspect and reward, and whether people trust the data. We had these talks that I am hearing here in the industry many years ago, and I'm talking decades, where our model is just there for information purpose, but the document set was delivered from that model, but you can't use it for construction. So what are you actually telling us your document set is worth? Can we rely on it or not? So the two rarely meet. Am I right? Expectations and reality is two worlds apart. Culture eats strategy for breakfast and it eats software for lunch. I'm going to say it again. Culture eats strategy for breakfast and it eats software for lunch. The change has to happen here. The tools makes the problem worse. And I am talking out of experience. Tools never fix a person or a culture. It makes it worse. And I see a lot of people nodding their heads in confirming that. But somebody has to say it, and I'm the brave one. Because you don't know me yet. The big thing is why transformation stalls. We buy the new platform, the new launch happens, the pilot, keen project teams, the applause, fantastic guys, the momentum got going, and then and it happens in organizations from one project to another project. And I've seen this time and again. I had veteran project managers come to me and say, why are we doing the same mistakes over and over and over and over? Because there was not a change of culture. A change of doing something different. Because what's Einstein's theory of insanity? Is trying to do the same thing, expecting different results. So you keep bashing your head like a steekse donkey, and it doesn't happen. That change doesn't happen. So the software worked. There's nothing wrong with the software. The software was developed because of a problem. But we keep making the problem and not changing. So the organizational habits never change. And I'm talking out of industries. I've worked in the US, I've worked in New Zealand, I worked in Australia, and I worked in South Korea. That's my background. And I worked in the Emirates. And now in South Africa again. I've got 26 years of experience in the industry. So let's not make the same mistakes here in Africa. We can make a change, but you will see it later. Next page. Now, BIM is not a department. It is a thread through the whole life cycle of the project. Unfortunately, in construction, we are making BIM work for us because we are working with a lot of money. And we need to have a success, and we need to change the risk matrix to be in our advantage. Now, we all know the sequence. One model of the work carried from first estimate to final handover with no retyping of the boundaries. What's the biggest problem? We don't know what we don't know. Is that true? The big thing is we can learn. There's industries that's been ahead of us.
Question to you is from an African perspective. We've got our, like you mentioned previously, the UAE counterparts, the Americas counterparts. Those environments are allowing a year or 2 years for the design phase to be concluded. So by the time the package has been handed over to a Steph Stocks, to tender, you're tendering nuts and bolts. Africa has got a different approach. The design has started. Can we get the bulldozers and the yellow machines on site so long? So the foundation's already been dug, but we don't know what we're digging, but we're digging. How do we in South Africa start to change that? Because once the foundations have been dug, and we find that it's incorrectly been dug, yes, we're backfilling, and we're digging again.
So I did stress the point. If you picked it up, I said earlier contractor involvement. That needs to happen, because that's how our industries where I came from, we operated in that world, because we were a much smaller industry. I'm talking from a New Zealand perspective, that we were able to get that earlier involvement. And there was, man, we fast-tracked everything. Exactly what you're explaining, we were there, but we were there at the right time, making those right calls, having the success we had. So there's a bit of a change of mentality. It's again coming to that cultural shift that needs to happen. You need to, as the designers, need to pull us contractors in earlier. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Neil. So there's a word for the conversations that just took place, right? early involvement of contractors, early participation. When the whole boom tide was trying to be risen, the conversations were much centered around how do we procure differently? Otherwise, we will always have these looping conversations, isn't it? You've got designers who, by their nature, are kind of okay with working at risk. They've built it in their models to work at risk. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but now there's contractors invited into spaces where it's like, okay, are you paying me to come in phase 1 or phase 2, and. Anywho, what I'm reframing here is, as much as we are discussing these observations between country A, country B, we must be mindful of an enabling environment. An enabling environment means, as much as we acknowledge problems and how to solve them, is the process structured in such a way that these stakeholders can engage? So the next speaker, without any much pressure, is from the public sector. And whenever we discuss procuring such services, we would sometimes talk about the hindrances of whether our space allows for these processes to be procured, right? So I'm not reframing Bongani Dlada's presentation, but I'm welcoming you to say, can you be mindful of what we talk about when we talk about early involvement and how it challenges how we currently do things.
Learn from their mistakes. In construction, we've got lessons learned. But do we actually learn, Gowrie? No. We are harde gat. We want to do it our way. Now, I'm going to tell you a story on a project. So BIM stopped being a 3D model and became a common planning language. The estimators checked the quantities from that model. The planning simulation construction sequence was done from that model. The construction management, planning and logistics happened from that model. The temporary works and constructability happened from that model. The methodologies went from long written up methodologies into a visual delivery strategy, risk surfaced and uncertainties resolved before submission. Far greater confidence in both price and the method happened from that. Our second story, we had a data center, the bus ducts. It is the biggest nightmare for any person in a data center is those bus ducts. It's not a Patco bus, it's the bus duct. Route coordination early within a long lead equipment vendor in the federated model before procurement and fabrication, clashes with the structures were sorted out. The services and access routes resolved while there could be still fixed properly, not fixed on site that cost us money, because we have to bear that punch when that comes. The client, we signed and we will deliver according to what we signed. So the value of this avoidance and clash, it was producing the program and a critical long lead procurement stuff. The model was not the outcome. It is the platform for better decisions before they become side problems. When I started my life in the pre-computer eras, I sat there and the architect that I was mentored by said, every line counts on that paper like a Word document in a contractual document. Too little or too much, it's on you. And then that proverbial measure twice, cut once. We have the most awesome system, ISO standards, and the tools to make that work. And we saw it in the industries where we come from. We never cut the base plate and oversized bolt holes to make a steel thing fit. it was installed the first time right. No rework on site. The sites just ran like clockwork. And the bosses smiled because our profit margins were wide. They didn't shrink as the project came to its close. So, one model for the work carries for first estimate to final handover with no retyping of the boundaries. Come on, switch. It is not the CDE. If it's not the CDE, it does not exist. Are we still using a lot of common data environments? SharePoint, ACC, Procore. I've heard a lot of software names being flying around. Pick one and make it work. Because if there's two tails. If there's three tails. And there's problems that creep in. Make a choice very early. Everybody understands this. Work in progress, shared, publish. But are you doing it in one place? Not an email here and a WhatsApp there. Oh, this is the most dangerous tool that's come out ever. WhatsApp. It's so easy to use. But oh boy, is it going to stand in a court? That's the question. Is it going to stand in a court when you're in trouble? So, in plain language, make sure your data is one story and make the culture that. So ISO 19650's real gift is not compliance paperwork. It is a shared language for the state of information. I'm going to say it again. It's a shared language for the state of information. So 5 behaviors of digital delivery culture is one source of truth. It's not the CDE if it does not exist. Shared early, shared ugly. Go for it. The more information the teams have upfront, the better the outcome. Early contractor involvement, please, people. Early contractor involvement is extremely valuable. Decide on data, not on seniority. My juniors can outrank me with the right data. I'm saying that again. My juniors in the group that I am leading can outrank me with bringing the right data to me. And I am humble enough to say, you're right. Remember that, Gary. Decide on data, not seniority. So, visual by default. Coordination models change the site meeting conversation. Does the manager ask for the printout, or do we talk around the model? And I cannot tell you how valuable that information is. A picture, I'm going to say the cliche, speaks 1,000 words. Everybody just gets that. If they can understand it, the guy that can't read plans, and believe me, there's guys on our construction sites that cannot read plans. If they see that model, they get it. And they can see how it values their day-to-day, because it's about what you can bring to them to make their day-to-day easier. And digital trust, built for weeks and months down the line, you make one bad move and it breaks it down. So be careful what you do. Culture is led, not installed. Leaders inspect, ask to see the model, not the printout. And I did the classical, I brought papers with all my notes on, but I can read it off the screen. but the power can go out. So I had a backup. What leaders reward? Praise, shared information, not private heroics. That's the word. Apologies for that stumble. I'm going to say it again. Praise, shared information, and I'm going to say it again. I will praise my juniors under me if that information is smart and it helps us. Not one rogue cavalier, musketeer, there in his dark room, bumming like crazy and then just rocking up for meetings. Everybody must be in the loop. And then what leaders tolerate, even ignored workarounds, quietly becomes the policy. And that's why we're in the mess that we are in. Does that make sense? Does that fall in the right place? In your last project review, did you ask for the model or did you do a printout? So what changes on site? Fewer RFIs. When I see RFIs, just hold the F and the I close. Block it out. What does it come to? The rands. RFIs cost money. They should not exist because we didn't do our work before that data hit site and it got built or started the build process. Am I right in saying this? There's a 1% is acceptable, but not 20%, 30%. That's the averages that runs, and this is the industry that I came from. We took those margins and we brought them down to 1%. Wow. But it takes time to change culture. Remember that. Clashes courted early, resolved in the model, not on the scaffold. Oops. Mr. Site Manager, we've got a problem. Houston, we've got a problem because it's astronomical, because that's where the money. I'm just talking out of my world from the other side of the ocean. One little split unit mistake costed us $100,000 later. That's how bad RFIs can become. I don't know what happens in this industry. I've only been back for 5 months now. So I'll find out. Sharper tender risk. Methods and quantities visualized before the price is committed. The honestly is what separates the practitioner talk from a vendor talk. Remember that. Where it still fails, the lessons are most never the software. Remember that software was built for a reason. We just need to use our smarts before we hit that software. Reasonable, or what's the rational thinking? That's the, use your nogger. Now, real stories. We had a marine project, the reinforcement clashed and was identified and resolved in the BIM model before construction, avoided a costly precast trial fitment and cut rework risk. That was the money saved. We quantified it. Wow, that's massive. So a commercial and program success, not just a modeling success. Wastewater treatment work, mechanical ducts examined, existed only in 2D. We remodeled it in-house to reduce our risk and do that saving. Another project on a data center, we resolved the federated model disciplines, everything fabrication coordinated, the clashes resolved before they become site issues on fabrication errors. Material saving was 500,000, 30% of our budget across 5 buildings. That's massive. Are you guys quantifying your success or in the negative? So land, the cost of coordination is far lower than the cost of correction on site. Is on paper, it's easy to change, or in the digital world, it's coordination and talking to each other. The cost, yep, I said that one. Now, we've got the Magic Africa leapfrog. What happened with telephones? And we're not talking South Africa, we're talking the broader. We skipped, or Africa skipped landlines and went mobile. They skipped banking, branch banking, and they went digital banking. Construction can skip legacy systems and go straight to collaborative digital environment. We don't have to go through the steps the other developed countries that's in the Scandinavian world or the American world or the British world or the New Zealand world or the Aussie world or the Korean world. We are Africans. We can do it better. Let's show them. The largest infrastructure built out of the century is still ahead of us. You've not done it yet. It's coming. So my Monday morning playbook, sorry, my colleague from Modena, map the information flow before buying anything new. This is what we do. Monday mornings. This Monday morning, me as the digital lead for Stefanuti Stocks sat in the inland team's meeting in the morning and we mapped out our workflow. There was no software in that language. We needed to understand exactly what we needed to do. And then we decided, you do that on that tool, you do that on that tool. Friday, we want to see the results. Choose behavior first. The tool that rewards, and then tool those rewards. Our CEO told me a story once. We were on a piping, it was a dam project. The guys were tooled with hand tools. They had to fix burst pipes and leaking pipes. How fast do you think a hand tool is? You getting wet, soaking wet. And all he did, he was on site and he listened to a guy that fixed that pipe, soaking wet every time, and he just asked, can we get pneumatic tools? That's it. We changed the whole way we do stuff. Smarter and faster, just a retool, but we needed to understand the problem. So work out your problems before you assign the tools. I mentioned the tool makes the problem worse if you didn't map it out. Champions inside the disciplines. No digital department besides them. We want to make digital QSs. We want to make digital planners. And that's what we are doing. We are making digital QSs. Digital site engineers. We are empowering all of our workforce and we are identifying those champions and we are lifting them up. And what happens to one bad apple in a bunch? It infects the whole bunch, but we're talking about good apples. We are making champions and it's affecting the whole system. And the way we train guys, we are training them now up as digital guys. The interns that come into our company, we are training it up from the bottom up. Because these youngsters, they grew up on these things. I fell into them. I come from pre-anything digital. but I love it. But a lot of people are struggling with it. But empower those smart guys in your companies. Put your energy into them. Make that cultural change. Measure behavior, not licenses. Information flow through the CD is the metric. And leaders go first. Ask for the model and the culture follows. If you as the leader don't make it happen, it's not going to happen. Einstein's rule of insanity. Trying the same thing, expecting different results. It will not happen. And it's proven it over and over and over again. I'm going to finish with this. The future of Africa's construction will not be determined who owns the best software, but by who builds the best culture of collaboration, information, and delivery. I'm going to read it again. The future of Africa's construction will not be determined by who owns the best software. Sorry, Autodesk. Sorry, Procore. But by who builds the best culture for collaboration, information, and delivery. Harambee. And I made up a bit of time for you guys. Any questions?
You see, you're such a natural, eh? Any questions for Doc?
Yes, sir.
So I know you've only been here for 5 months, you said.
Yes.
What are the statutory impediments to us arriving to where you've come from? Because these are not new terms, and there are plenty of people
Yes.
here from the industry. Personally, I want to speak of, the industry in this country being an astounding laggard, and it is down to attitudes that refuse to change.
Yes.
And they will only change when, I guess it costs far too much for it to continue like that, like happened with the electricity.
Yes.
But I'd be very interested, and I think it's probably a reflection point for everybody, here as well. How do we actually get the state on side? How do we get commercial real estate on side?
So I'll explain it. When I left the industry, I came from a reseller's perspective. There was an amazing trend when I left in 2008. And when I came back, I expected a higher trajectory of what I left. The big thing that happened is my understanding after the World Cup, you guys just went into a recession. Just everything flattened down. Now, the big thing that happened for us, where I come from, is the government jumped onto it so quickly. We went through in 2014 that you guys are now going through with your South African standards of ISO 19650. We did it in 2014, the first stuff, and we were operating at that stage. In the next 5 years, we turned around. We had this, we don't want to share the model, and it's only for design, and people are going to steal our intellectual property talk and all of that nonsense. We just bullied it from the top because we were working in the governmental organizations, the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Correctional Service, the Ministry of Transport. I worked in all of those environments. The clients backed us up as the contractor, and our maturity growth happened so fast in our industry because it was top-down driven.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Doc, for that presentation.
Sorry,
Doc-
sorry,
it's
spotted
me.
you out,
Yeah.
yes.
Should I start? Okay, yeah, thanks for the presentation. I think it was thought-provoking. My name is Innocent. I just wanted to find out first, you from your case studies, you said you managed to resolve the clashes and you realized almost $1.3 million. Was that planned?
There was penalty clauses in those projects. Am I correct, Gary, if I make that? Oh, you weren't on that project. It was the big thing. What we saved would have come out in the penalties because of the delays. So we measured it against that.
And did you plan that as a strategy, or
It just happened because.
it just happened?
But we had to sit down and quantify what the worst case scenario could have been
Post.
in a typical, if we didn't intervene and do it smarter.
Okay, that the assessment was post implementation of the
Yes.
technology.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah. Let Gary have a quick. Victoria. It's Victoria's project. Yeah. See, I let my junior speak.
yeah, we all do that. Yeah.
Okay, so the cost was actually measured based on so this is what we typically do when we get a project that, we have to do precast, right? So since on this project we had the model, and then we were able to get the model, the reinforcement in that model, we didn't have a need to do the precast trial, so then hence the savings on that. So that contributed to that. So it's just based on what do we typically do and what does it cost us to do what we do previously, and then what does it cost us to do what we do now? Yeah,
Okay.
with the models and yeah.
Okay. No,
Hope
no,
that
no.
makes sense.
Really appreciate and love what you guys did on that project. But actually, the answer that I was interested in is what the boss said.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm not the boss. I'm the leader.
Okay.
It's two different worlds.
Okay. The
I'm
leader.
not standing behind them whipping, I'm empowering them. And I am putting my head first into the fire.
Now, kudos to you guys for what you're doing. But I think in the framing of my question, I was right about the assumptions
Yes.
that I made. And I think that's where the construction industry or the built environment is getting it wrong. Okay, we do not start with identifying a problem. What is it that we want to solve? In this case, and the example that you gave, you didn't start off by sitting down and say, guys, we lose a lot of money when clashes are not resolved. And the last project, we lost so much money. In this project, we have to address this problem. The industry is busy using technology for everything without a targeted problem that they want to solve. As a matter of fact, I've been a construction person for over 20 years. I think the construction industry does things in a completely wrong way. For example, we do not, as engineers, I'm an engineer, we do not give our information requirements to the architect, but the architect gives us the drawing instead. If you look at all the processes, they are all completely in reverse, and they shouldn't be. We need to start from that point where we identify a problem. For example, the Gauteng province have got this ambition of achieving zero variations. That's a challenge for us. We shouldn't be talking about how do we adopt technology. No, we've got a challenge. We need to achieve zero variations. And how can we use the processes and technologies to achieve that? We will not be knocking on people's doors and say, do BIM. That will be gone. It will be a necessity. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, the big thing is we went down that same route, but we changed the tact so quickly because there was a lot of early adopters that burned their fingers bad going on that approach that you explained, and then we relooked the whole thing, and we put the right culture and processes in place to make the technology be the tool to achieve an outcome.
One more last question, Doc.
Yes.
Hi, Niels.
Hello.
Great presentation you had there, and glad to see that you're speaking that Steph Stocks is in the data center playing field. My question to you is from an African perspective. We've got our, like you mentioned previously, the UAE counterparts, the Americas counterparts, those environments are allowing a year or 2 years for the design phase to be concluded. So by the time the package has been handed over to a Stef Stocks, to tender, you're tendering nuts and bolts. Africa has got a different approach. The design has started. Can we get the bulldozers and the yellow machines on site so long? So the foundation's already been dug, but we don't know what we're digging, but we're digging. How do we in South Africa start to change that? Because once the foundations have been dug and we find that it's incorrectly been dug,
Yes.
we're backfilling and we're digging again.
So I did stress the point. If you picked it up, I said earlier contractor involvement. That needs to happen because that's how our industries where I came from, we operated in that world because we were a much smaller industry. I'm talking from a New Zealand perspective, that we were able to get that earlier involvement. And there was, man, we fast-tracked everything. Exactly what you're explaining, we were there, but we were there at the right time, making those right calls, having the success we had. So there's a bit of a change of mentality. That's again coming to that cultural shift that needs to happen. You need to, as the designers, need to pull us contractors in earlier. Okay. Thank you.